Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Bible Study Minute. Today we're taking a look at Judges chapter 4. And with Judges chapter 4, it's just like the rest of the book of Judges. Israel has gotten freedom from their enemy, but now they're back into a cycle of following after the ways of the land, no longer following the Lord. And so they're back in a cycle of sin and judgment, and the Lord is judging them for not being obedient to the commands that He has given them as part of the covenant. And so they're taken into captivity, they're being oppressed again, and this happens for 20 years. And during this time, there is a woman in leadership in Israel. Her name is Deborah. She's a judge over Israel, and she's also a prophetess. And this is interesting merely for the fact that Israel, and even just during this time, it was a very patristic society where men were the ones who were in charge and doing a lot of things. But here we see a woman who is one, hearing from the Lord, and also serving as a judge over Israel in both a civic sense and in the sense of a judge, like we see in the rest of the book of Judges, people who are serving as a deliverer for Israel. So during this time, Deborah hears from the Lord, and she's told to tell Barak to lead Israel into victory. So she tells this to Barak, tells him to get 10,000 soldiers together, and that they will be able to defeat their enemy and bring victory to Israel and bring them their freedom. Barak hears this, and he's cool with the idea, but at the same time, he's very hesitant, and he does something strange. He asks Deborah to go into battle with him. And that's strange because he's asking a woman to go into battle, which is something that's just never done. But Deborah agrees. She's like, sure, I'll go. But the only catch is the Lord's telling me that if I go, you're not going to receive the honor for this battle. It's going to go to a woman who ends up being Jael, who ends up killing Sisera, the commander of the army that they were trying to defeat. So what we see here in this passage is two different kinds of faith. We see, on the one hand, Deborah, who is very confident in her faith and hearing from the Lord and does exactly what the Lord tells her to do. But then on the other hand, we see Barak, who hears the word from the Lord through Deborah, and then Barak is hesitant. He doesn't necessarily want to go do this without having some assurance. And we need to figure out what kind of person we are when we hear the word of the Lord. Are we going to be confident like Deborah, or are we going to be hesitant like Barak? But that's not the point of the story. The point of the narrative here is that God will use whomever He pleases to accomplish His purposes, whether it be a man or a woman. And that's what we see happening here, is that God will use whoever He wants to deliver His people and to accomplish His purposes. And that's what we need to remember in this passage. So that's what I want to leave you with today as you meditate on this passage. One, to just be reminded that God will use whomever He pleases to do what He wants, and that we need to be confident when we hear the word of the Lord spoken to us and when we're commanded to do something. So that's what I have for now. Until next time, grace and peace.